Greetings, District 205 families. Whether you are a family returning to us or you are joining the District 205 family this year, this video is going to walk you through the registration process. Registration begins on the District 205 website. When you go onto the website, scroll down to where you see popular links. And under popular links, you'll see a link to PowerSchool. PowerSchool is where you want to select that link. And PowerSchool is where we keep student grade information, attendance, and so this is an account that we want you to visit throughout the year to check on how your student is doing, to communicate with their teachers and things like that. If you already have a PowerSchool account, you can just log in using the username and password that you have used previously. If you've forgotten that username or password, you can select the link at the bottom here to reset your password. If you have not had a PowerSchool account for a currently enrolled or previous District 205 student, you have to create a new one. And so to create a new one, you can select the link where it says Create Account here, and you will select where it says Create Account, and you'll be asked a series of information about who the parent is, and then down here towards the bottom, you'll have to link students to your account. If you are creating a new account, you need a form that looks like this. This form should have been emailed to you and mailed to your house already. If you do not have this, get in touch with your student's school so that you can get the information that you need. But in this form, it gives you screenshots of what we just looked at, and I referenced the access ID number and password, which you'll find here. I didn't provide one here, but every student has a unique access ID and password, and so you'll need that to link your student with your parent account to give you access to their information. Once you get into your PowerSchool account, you should be looking at a page that looks similar to this. If you have more than one student, their names would be listed up here at the top. So I have a student named Frank, and I have a student named Student. And to create or to complete the registration process, on the left side, we want you to scroll down to where it says Forms, select that, and we want you to select the tab at the top that says Enrollment. And we are looking at the registration process for returning students, and you'll notice that if you're returning to us, you'll notice that we've kind of narrowed down these forms quite a bit. We only have 3 registration forms for our returning students. One that asks about demographics, contacts, and custody, one where you provide residency documents and fill out our fee waivers, and one where you agree to permissions. I'll look at each of these forms just so you can see what's involved. So on the demographics page, first we ask you about your students' demographics to make sure this is correct. If there were any errors, we want you to select yes and explain those errors. If you select no, there's nothing to explain. Under Guardian and Emergency Contacts, this is an opportunity for you to edit each contact by selecting the Edit button next to the name. If you need to add contacts, you can do so by clicking the Add button here. We ask that you provide a minimum of 3 emergency contacts in addition to the legal guardian's parent or guardian. So if you're a single parent household, we need you listed, and we need 3 additional emergency contacts. If there are 2 parents or legal guardians, then we need both parents or guardians listed, as well as 3 additional contacts. So we're looking for a minimum of 4 to 5 contacts in total, including the parents. This is so that in the event of an emergency, we can reach somebody in the family to help with the student. So you can update any information that you need to update there. Underneath that, if you have multiple students, you might remember that I was in my student named Frank. I was in their profile, but I also had a student named Test. If I update the contacts for Frank, I can also push them to the other student that I have enrolled in the district by selecting the button here. Some additional contact information we ask for, just a primary number for the family and a primary email address. This is where the bulk of communication from teachers will go. We also ask in the for the robocall system that you provide at least 1 phone number that we can call, 1 that we can text, and 1 that we can email. You have to provide a minimum of 1. You can provide up to 3 of each. And then we also ask about who has legal custody of the student. If there are any legal orders or judgments that need to be uploaded, if you select yes here, you can actually upload a PDF of those court documents. And then press submit. And you can go to the next form by selecting the tab at the very top of the page. It's going to ask me if I want to navigate away from this, and I do, so select OK. Our second page deals with our residency, and so the first thing that you'll see here is the address that we have on file listed. If this address is correct, you can select yes. If you have moved recently, or if this address is incorrect, select no, and a box will pop up for you to enter your current address. The address that you enter that is entered here, or if you say that your address needs to be changed, the address that you enter in this box has to match all of the documents that you provide here. This is where we ask you for proof of residency. So we ask for a parent and guardian ID or driver's license. That identification must show the current address. We ask for a lease, mortgage, tax bill, or residency affidavit. You can upload that document here. And then we ask for 2 utility bills that are dated within the last 30 days of when you're submitting this registration form. So you can enter that here. The next question asks if you're living in a current, if your address is a temporary living situation. You can select yes here if it is, and some additional information comes up asking about that. You can select no if that doesn't apply to you. We also ask that everybody complete a fee waiver form, the state household income form. You can download that form by clicking the tab here, fill out the form, save it to your desktop, and then you can upload that form right here. So the third and final page for our returning students is the permissions and agreements page. So you can navigate to that page. It looks like this. On this page is where we ask you to agree to the parent-student handbook, agree to essentially that your student will agree to follow school rules and be a successful student. We as a school agree to provide the best education for your student that we can, and you as parents agree to support your students in any way that you can. So you can read through each of these agreements here for more information. You can look at the parent-student school compact, agree to the internet usage agreement, and then you can opt here whether you want to release your information to the media. If say we have the school have the local paper in taking pictures or something like that, if you want your students' photo included in that or not, and then also whether you want your students' information to be released to colleges and universities, released to the military and things like that. So you read through that, sign off on that information. If you are a returning student, that is the end of the registration process for you. My student, named student here, is a new student to the district, and so let's take a look at what that registration process looks like. So going into their profile, if I select Forms and Enrollment, the registration process for new students looks very similar to returning students. Matter of fact, the first, second, and third form I won't go through because I already did. They are the same forms for returning and new students. But new students also have this Form 4 and 5. So we will go into those and take a look at them. Form 4 asks some questions about your student, whether they have an IEP, yes or no. If they do and you're able to provide us a copy of that, that's great. If you're not, that's okay. Do they have a 504? Yes or no. Again, if you select yes and you're able to upload it, great. If you're not, continue with registration. We ask questions about your student's primary language and the primary language spoken in home, the migrant education program. We ask about your student's race, ethnicity, ask where your student was born. If they were born in the United States, you select yes. If they were not born in the United States, you select no, and you may notice that some questions changed based on your answer selection here. You enter the city, the state, if they were born in the United States. Regardless of whether they were born in the United States or not, we do have to have an official copy of the student's birth certificate, which you can upload here. And then we ask about siblings so that we can connect students with families together. When we ask about siblings, we are only asking for siblings that are enrolled in a District 205 school. If your student has a younger sibling that's in, say, 5th or 6th grade, we don't need them listed. So that's it for this page. And then there's one more page for new students. We ask about their previous school. So the last school that your student attended, was it 8th grade or was it high school? And so if it was 8th grade, you provide that previous school's name, their city and state, and then we need a copy of the 8th grade diploma. If you don't have that diploma, we do need a letter on school letterhead stating that the student successfully passed the 8th grade. And then for high school, we ask for some additional information. We need the ISB transfer form, or if they're coming from out of state, a letter stating that they're in good standing. We need a copy of the student's current transcript, and we need a copy of the student's cumulative records. And so for our new students, that also is the end of their registration process. Now, the last thing that I want to point out is on the forms page, in the enrollment part, when you submit the form, this not started part is going to change. It's going to say submitted, and it will turn into a yellow form. And then yellow just means it's submitted, but we at the district have not yet reviewed your submission. When you go back in, if it turns green, like you see approved down here, that means we've approved the documents we submitted. And if it turns red, that means that we have rejected a document. And if you just go back into that form by selecting it, if it's been rejected, you'll get a message explaining why it has been rejected. So If you have any questions about registration, please reach out to your student's school.